Hello, congratulations. You have taken an important step towards financial empowerment by mastering your budget by paycheck. In this video, I'll take you through how to use the budget by paycheck spreadsheet. There are 5 tabs in the spreadsheet. First is README Setup tab, then Start tab, Log tab, Calendar tab, and Budget tab. The README Setup tab has written instructions on how to use the spreadsheet. In the Start tab, you can put your name, change currency, and set the start balance for the first budget period. So I'm putting the name first. I'm taking Rosalind. You can change the currency if you want. By default, it's set to dollar, so I am keeping it as dollar. Start balance for the first period, as in whatever balance you have to start your first budget period. Let's say I have $1,000. So you don't have to put the starting balance for August, as the sheet will automatically calculate basis the starting balance of July and on the transactions that you have recorded for July. Now next is to fill all the categories under income, savings, expenses, bills and debts. You can also add your due dates under bills and debts. So let's fill the categories. Like this, I'll fill the rest. Now let's move to the budget tab. You can choose the start date by double clicking on the date cell and the end date in the same way. You can do this weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. I'm doing this monthly. Now you can put your budgets. Like this, I'll fill the rest. After putting all the budgets, now we will move to the log tab. In the log tab, here you have different columns: date, category, subcategory, amount and notes. In the date cell, you have to again double click. The calendar will pop up. You can select the categories from the drop down list and the subcategories from the drop down arrow. And you can add your amount. Here you will put your actual amount. We basically use log tab to note down all the actual transactions across income, savings, expenses, bills, and debts. Now, let's fill all the transactions. Let me fill the rest. After log tab, we'll move to the calendar tab. In the calendar tab, here in the overview section, you get to select the month. For selecting the month, you need to click on the drop down arrow given here. I'm selecting July. In the same way, you can select the year and you can select your start of the week. If it's Monday for you, you can take Monday. If it's Sunday, then you can select Sunday. Mine is Monday, so I'm taking Monday. Then here in the calendar entries section, you can also enter your special dates. Let's say mom's birthday. You can choose the day. So this event also appears in the calendar section here. Okay, so if you have more than 5 entries in the same date, it will show like this, more than 5 entries. So next, let me fill the rest of the calendar entries. After putting all the calendar entries, everything has been updated in the calendar. So you can also take the bills that are already paid off. You can also take the events that already happened like this. Now, before moving to the next month, what you have to do is you have to reset the calendar ticks. So, for resetting the calendar, first click anywhere in the calendar, then select all. For that, you need to press Command A, that is for Mac, and Control A is for Windows. So, when you press Command A, this selects the whole calendar. Now you have to press the spacebar key twice. First, if you press, it will take all the entries like this, and second time, if you press spacebar, it will untick all the entries like this. I forgot to mention one thing, that when we were putting the budgets, this option, it is by default set to left to budget. So we will not change anything here while putting the budgets. Now, as we put the budget in the income category, the left to budget number gets updated. This amount shows how much money we have to spend, and once we add the budgets for our bills, expenses, debts, this number reduces automatically. The next is to create a duplicate of budget tab. So for duplicating the budget tab, what you have to do is click on the drop down arrow here, click to duplicate, and a copy of this budget has been created. We do this to ensure that we don't have to create a new template every time we start with a new budget period. You can rename this if you want. I'll rename it to July. After duplicating, next is to calculate the actual incomes, expenses, bills, etc. But the very first thing we need to do is to change this left to budget to left to spend. From this drop down arrow given here, we'll select left to spend. The actual amounts are actually auto populated from the log section. Like when we put the amounts here in the log tab, it gets automatically calculated in the budgets actual section. Now, if you put here something accidentally, let's say 40, the table will not automatically calculate as the formula is lost. But there is a way to get it back. What you have to do is you have to look at the cell on which you have accidentally made a mistake, which is cell U number 23. Now go back to the template sheet with the lock sign. Cell U 23, right click, copy. Again go back to the budget sheet, right click, paste special, formula only. So the original formula is restored and the number has been automatically calculated. So if you accidentally make a change where you're not supposed to, you can always go back to your template spreadsheet here and get your formula from there. Now suppose if I want to change something here, it will throw me an error saying you're trying to edit a part of this sheet that shouldn't be changed accidentally. So we'll click cancel and try not to edit it. The same law cannot be applied in any of the other sheets because when you create a duplicate of the sheet, the protections are lost. However, you can go back to the method that I explained to restore the formula. Now, let's understand our finances better. This shows the amount of money left to spend and the number of days left to make it last. This is the overview of the cash flow, uh, the budget or the expectations I had when I made the budget, and how much I actually earned or spent. This is the graph showing budget versus actual. The gray line is the budget and the colored lines are the actuals. This is the actual breakdown. This one is the income summary showing from where I'm getting all my incomes. And if you scroll down, you get to see a separate expense breakdown. So this finishes our budget sheet. If you have any query, please reach out to us on Etsy.